So target prelims 2023. So in this series of videos, I'm going to do previous year question paper analysis. But the most important aim of this series of videos is that this previous year question paper is the most important point of this examination. So these series of videos are going to aim at proving this point that if we have to clear this examination, it is going to be through these previous year question. And also it is not merely going to be a question paper discussion where I'm going to tell the answer and where we are going to go about thinking about what are the books necessary and things like that. Rather, what I'm going to focus on is what goes on in the mind inside the hall. Inside the hall, because after you come outside of the hall, there can be so many interpretation of this question paper. Maybe it be easy or difficult or medium or whatever people may say, but inside the hall it is a different feat. And how am I going to accomplish is that, so these are question papers which I solved. For example, this time I'm going to take 2013 question paper. 2013 question paper is what we are going to solve in this series of videos initially, and by that logic I'm going to explain how the logic works inside the hall. So this is the primary thing, or these are the primary thing which I'm going to establish. And also people have this difficulty of choosing question. People say or ask me as to what questions should we choose and what questions should we leave. And it is not an 1 or a 1 hour conversation or a 2 hour conversations through which I can explain this fact of how do I choose a particular question and how do I leave. Rather, it should be through way of implementation and execution, and that is what we will see. By way of these question paper, I'll explain the logic of why I choose a question or not. So what not to choose is also very important in civil services, and that is what we will see in this series of videos. And my name is Sivarajarajendran, and with that information we'll go into the video. So we'll go to the first question. So this is a question, as I said, is a solution of 2013 question paper. And the first question is about the money bill. And in civil services preliminary examination, polity plays a very important role. So have Lakshmikant as your source. Because as I have expressed in many other cases, having many multiple sources is not the key to this examination, rather having a one source. Now come to these options, how to solve that. If you look at it, Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha, there have been lots of questions related to Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha. Even this time it can be asked, and mains also they asked this question of they are being continuously asking questions on Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha and their powers. And if you see, Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha have equal powers at some times and not so equal powers and other times. And you can check Constitutional Amendment 368, and in terms of Article 110, the money bill, and annual financial statement in Article 112. If you see, all these will give an higher power, even for example, no confidence motion. So no confidence motion is also introduced only in the Lok Sabha. So in such cases, if you see, Rajya Sabha has a lesser power in terms of when you see the overall architecture of it. But in this answer, the Lok Sabha may still proceed. So in the case of money bill, it is not that even if the Rajya Sabha is actually going to suggest some changes for in the money bill, the Lok Sabha need not accept, because it is the house of the parliament. And if you see, in preliminary examination, we have chosen, for example, A, but I would also go for all these options and check them. So inside the hall, it is very primarily important that you don't see only this A option and go with this option, because the other options also you have to clarify with the question and you have to say that this is not true. The Lok Sabha cannot consider the bill further. No, in terms of money bill, the Lok Sabha can. That is the only theme of this money bill. And the Lok Sabha may send the bill to the Rajya Sabha for reconsideration, and it can be done, but it is not necessarily done. and the president may call for a joint sitting, and article 108, please look at it, and article 368, there are certain cases in which the president can call for a joint sitting, but not so other in the cases of constitutional amendment and this bill of money bill. So this is how you have to solve it. So answer is A, and these are the questions which I would solve first. As I was explaining in the beginning of the video, we are not only going to see the answers, we are going to see the logic of why we have to choose a particular question. These are questions which are direct from the polity book, and we have to choose these questions. Next is the second question on judges or judges and governor. This time also this is very important, and marking like this. So if you see, I have to mark like this to make sure that they have not asked not correct. So they are asking which of the following is correct. So 3 of the statement is wrong, 1 is correct. I have to find this one. So this is the imagination which I have to have in my mind when I am reading these options. And when I am reading these options, I will also apply the logic of newspaper reading. Whenever we read or whenever we go into the examination hall, we would not have Lakshmikant book or any other thing to justify our answer. In that case, the justification which I use, primarily what I use is whatever I read in newspaper. For every statement, I use a justification from the newspaper. For example, in India, the same person cannot be appointed. No, it can be appointed. One of the incidences which come to my mind where Tamil Nadu, there was a time when Tamil Nadu did not have a governor. They had this governor from Maharashtra has the same governor of Tamil Nadu as well. So I would eliminate or I would remove this, and the judges of the High Court are appointed by the governor. This time also Supreme Court, High Court judges have been appointed, including additional judges. So this time also you can check these things, how an additional judge is appointed. If you look at all these things, it will be President of India. It will not be the governor. So this statement is wrong. So third statement will come again. In the case of Union Territory, so in the case of Delhi, so Lieutenant Governor. So there has been so many articles as to the problem between Delhi and the Lieutenant Governor and the AAP government in Delhi and the Lieutenant Governor. So the case is this, the point is this, the tussle between two power centers. So this is also not true, but this is the no procedure has been, this is true because pleasure of the president. So it is given as pleasure of the president. That is the procedure which is for appointment of the governor, and that is why they have this shifting and removal and things like that. So answer is C. So you have to, and I will also mark this question. These are questions which we should obviously take. And when I will come to this question, geography. So geography maps. There will be in newspaper and in this atlas, there will be specific region names. For example, Swat, Darfur, or Bundelkhand in India. These kinds of specific regional names. So in each of the things in atlas also it will be there. In newspaper it will come. Last time they asked for Levant. Many of the students did not write this. Levant is, West Jerusalem and Jerusalem and Palestine issue which is going on. That is what is Levant. And hence what we have to look at in newspaper is these regional names. Don't look at in depth. So if there is a city where the problem is happening, look at where the region is. You don't have to know exact details of all these, everything we will not be able to do. And now in this particular question, this question I could not, on the day, I remember 2013, as I said, we are going to discuss what happened inside the hall also. Inside the hall, I was able to remove this. Guyana Highlands, I thought was not in Africa, and this also I was not sure this is the answer, but A or B. So I was thinking about Abyssinia and Arabia. So Abyssinian something, So I was not sure whether Atlas Mountain was there in northwestern Africa. This question created a lot of problem for me in 2013, and I did not know which option to choose. I left this question. So as I was saying, where the question you should take is where we are sure. This is a question which I am very sure of, and I took this question. But I was not sure of this question, and hence I left this question. And if you see, the answer is B. So answer is B. When I came outside the hall, I understood that this is the answer. So the next question is, this was also a very tough question, Indian rock cut architecture. So in terms of architecture, culture is very important topic in civil services. One or two questions they definitely ask. In this, I did not know these two statements. This I know. The Ellora and Ajanta caves, which are there in the northwestern Maharashtra, are actually a very important thing, and hence you have to know the difference also. There is a difference between Ajanta and Ellora, and this is true that they have this different fate. So this I understood on the day. I understood that this was the point of or the answer lies here. So the answer will lie here. But what happened was, I was not sure about this Badami rocket architecture, whether it was the oldest. I did not know this, but I knew that it was given by Emperor Ashoka, not by Chandragupta Maurya. I know that this fact I knew. So what happened was, so this is wrong. So this in this three statements, this is wrong. This is also wrong. So I have only one option left, which is the C option. So this is what is the answer, and this is how. And this was a tough question. On the day, it was a tough question. So if you imagine that every question need not be an easier question where you can target the answer. Rather, there will be many questions where it will be very tough for us to answer. And this was one such question. The second is the genetic engineering, the recombinant DNA technology. I swear on 2013, I did not understand this meaning recombinant DNA technology, but I understood genetic engineering because in 12th standard biology book, there is a chapter on genetic engineering, which I read. So there is a chapter which I read, and genetic engineering, basics of genetic engineering I know, and it is a true fact. Genetic engineering, if the genes, there is a gene, in that chapter they talked about Bt cotton. Okay, Bt cotton. Bacillus thuringiensis. So a gene from a bacteria was put into this cotton, and that is the chapter which is there in biology. So I know this fact. I knew this fact on that day. So obviously, if there is a technology, there can be different. So across different species of plants, it can be done. Animals to plants, definitely it can be done. Microorganisms to higher organisms. So Bt cotton is one example. So 1, 2, 3 is the answer. So this is how I understood, but students need not worry about whether this technology we know, because the basics only you should know. Basics of anything and the context in science and technology is the key. So D is the answer for this. And if you see Chinese traveler Huan Suang, and this question I marked wrong on that day. I marked it wrong. I'll tell you the logic which I applied, and I'll tell you the answer also. The logic which I applied was, as regards the punishment, see, the Huan Swang comes post 100 AD. So if you happen to see these kinds of punishment in anthropology, you will have it. But on the day, I did not know the fact also whether it was true or not. But in anthropology, if you look at, these are punishment in tribes. You know, these are punishment of ordeal. They'll say these are punishment of ordeal. On the day, I understood for the fact that even today people have this kind of thing in many of the movies you might have seen. But what I applied on that day was, I thought, how can somebody or somebody in who was looking at these flourishing civilization, and as a traveler he is looking at all these flourishing civilization, he might not have noticed this. This I thought was true because trade was improving and economy was definitely improving. So this I thought was true. So 2 I thought was wrong, and hence I marked this answer. But the answer which is there is 2 and 3. So the answer they gave was 2 and 3, completely immune. So I should have thought about this also. The roads and river routes were completely immune from robbery, might not have been a possibility. So the logic which I applied was 2, and by this I want to tell about this elimination technique. People keep talking about this elimination technique. We will have the answer. See, elimination technique works when you are taking the answer which, for example, in this, if I had chosen A, I would have gotten B as the, see, for example, if I had removed A, I would have chosen this point. See, B as the answer. But what I did was I removed 2, and that is why the answer came as C. So the elimination technique is based on your understanding. There is no technique per se, but there is understanding. That is why you should focus on, in terms of studying, focus on how do you study these things. Rather, inside the hall, go and you can solve the question definitely. There is this Karate Kid. If you have looked at Karate Kid, Jackie Chan would not teach that Will Smith's son what are the points and things like that. He will teach the person or teach him what is the mechanism of all these martial arts, but how to control mind. Everything he will teach, but he will not teach the points. Similarly, what we have to concentrate is the understanding. How do you eliminate? You will go inside the hall, you will eliminate based on your understanding. Do not think about crossing this examination with these simple tricks. It will not work. But answer for this is B. And this also I found it a little difficult. This also, see, as we were discussing, there are questions which are easier, there are questions which are difficult or which I found it difficult, there are questions which are logical. It will be a mixed feature, and this one I went it wrong. And this one, I know that pygmy hog is an important species. Assam, there is one place in Assam where the pygmy hog, it is a critically endangered species. This I knew. In environment I knew, and star tortoise also I knew, because in a few days ago there was a report smuggling in India, GS paper 3 internal security. For that smuggling in India, they are smuggling star tortoise also. So this I knew. So 1 and 2 I knew, 1 and 3 I knew. So answer is somewhere here, either A or D. So, but on the day I did not know whether spider monkey was there, something like that, whether A or D, I was stuck. And this happens inside the hall. This is what you should understand. So the purpose of making this video is not to tell you this is the answer, this is the answer. Answer is A. Okay, answer is A. But the purpose why I am making this video is that on the day I was stuck between A and D. This happens. People are so scared of being stuck between two options. How can we? There is a Salman Khan. I do not know whether you saw this ad. There used to be a Salman Khan ad. Dar ke aage jeet hai. Meaning is that, see, only after you are scared you will have success. Without having a scared scenario as A or D, this scenario will come obviously. Whether you are able to face it, that is the key. And next we will go to this point. This also I actually marked wrong. This I marked it wrong. See, this is what people don't mistake it as, see, I'm giving the wrong. I am going to tell what happened or how I solved. That is the point. The answers you will obviously know. You Google it, you will know the answers. But how I solved or inside the hall, what went into my mind is what I'm focusing on. And what I thought was uranium would not be there. So uranium would not be there. See, again, this elimination technique will not work all the time. This is what I thought, and I picked A. But if you see uranium, even today uranium is there. There was an article recently, you can google it, there was an article recently, uranium contamination in water. So the answer they have given us C. Here, one, arsenic definitely, fluoride definitely. Because of this fluoride contamination only, the yellowing of teeth happens. Arsenic is also there. The sorbitol and formaldehyde, I was not sure what were they. I knew only 1, 3, and 5. So I should have picked all these three constituents and I should have moved on. Sorbitol and formaldehyde, without knowing that, I was reluctant. But I went into eliminating this and went into a wrong thing. And that is why whenever students ask me about these teach me elimination techniques, I am not a person or a magician to teach any techniques. I am a person who can coach you to clear this examination. That is what my job is to. So that is what I am trying to do in this video also. So look at this. Answer is C. And this is a very, see, that is the point. When God closes one door, he opens another door. So there is a very wonderful saying in Tamil. See, in this video there will be a little bit of Hindi or English and a little bit of Tamil also. I cannot make a complete video as to I'm not an artificial intelligence robot to make such video. So in Tamil also, கடவுள் ஒரு கதவை மூடினா இன்னொரு கதவை திறந்துருவாங்க அப்படின்றது மீனிங் என்னன்னா, the meaning of that is, see, if there is a difficult question where we are falling, we will have an easy question. This is a very easy question. The members of the assembly, constituent assembly in 1950 or the 1951 or 1947 to 51, what they were, where they were indirectly elected. NCRT, if you look at it, and not only NCRT, Lakshmikant, you look at it, the first statement of Constituent Assembly is indirect election of this Constituent Assembly. So C is the answer. So this I will choose. I will choose these kinds of questions. In most of the questions there will be difficult thing, but I will choose this. And this also, see how wonderfully they have given all this C, and in that they are asking mammals. So in this point I want to say one thing. Biology, okay, biology 6th to 9th, at least 6th to 9th, concentrate on the science NCRT books, because these kinds of questions, what is the basics of reptile, what is reptile, mammal, there are questions, there are 1 or 2 questions. They are asking not only 1 or 2 questions, I'm saying per year. So we have to concentrate, is what I feel will be a very significant thing. If you concentrate on this, you will know that sea cow is a mammal, sea lion is a mammal. And the sea cow, this is a 2000, see, the wonder of previous year question paper, I will give you an example. The wonder of previous year question paper is that when you focus on this, you will not go wrong in the subsequent years. Because sea cow, if you see, there is a mammal called as dugong. And if you had seen the sea cow, it is what is dugong, and you will know that this is an herbivorous species which is found in India, and it is an endangered species. It is a mammal. Sea lion is also a mammal. So in this, one thing is that seahorse is not a mammal. Seahorse is actually a fish. You know, so this one thing. And this seahorse, if you ask me, it will be it may sound like very I'm actually in the sense that it may sound bizarre. How I understood seahorse was a fish was, I am a fan of, or I used to watch this Friends series. If you have watched Friends series, you might know this, but this is how I found out. In Friends series, there are certain characters which come. There will be an paleontologist. So Ross, the character Ross in that, will be a paleontologist, and he would give references of dinosaurs and many other species, and he would obviously give examples of this mammals and things like eccentric mammals. So in seahorse, he would give that seahorse. In that, the mammal, what he would say is that he would impregnate the Rachel in that series, and he would say that Rachel would be very unhappy with Ross as she would be pregnant. But he would give this reference of seahorse where males carry the baby. So there he would give this eccentric species, and he would say, I wish I was a seahorse so that I'm not worrying you, because males in seahorses give births to he will say. Why I am referring to is that I referred that using that. Okay, I referred seahorse. What was seahorse? Why? Because an eccentric thing. Because in that males give birth, he said. So I went into that and I saw that it was a fish. See, by this, what I am trying to explain is that answering in civil services, so 1 and 3, answering in civil services is not an one perspective thing. No, it does not happen. Answering in civil services, it can be done by multiple perspectives through all the things that you have read, and that is why I ask you to go for previous year question paper, newspaper is something which you will get so many information that you should see. Please check that. So answer is B. And the next question, as I say, we have to mark this, which is the following is correct. So they are asking for correct, which we have to check it. And amendment to the Constitution of India. So look at this amendment 368. They can be introduced in Lok Sabha only. There was a first question which talked about Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. In that I explained there are some places Rajya Sabha is weaker to Lok Sabha, but in this case of amendment, Rajya Sabha is equal to Lok Sabha. This is not true. No confidence motion can be introduced in only Lok Sabha. 110 money bill can be introduced in Lok Sabha, but this is not true. Seeks to make changes in the character of amendment. No, not all states. In USA it is 2/3. In India it is half. So these kinds of things which come, and you have to think about all these things. So both are wrong. So neither is the answer. So D is the answer. So these are all easy questions. See, look at it. There are questions, and this also Attorney General take part in Lok Sabha. Definitely member of, they can, but they cannot vote. Not vote. This is there. These are questions which we should actually look at it. And if you are not sure, see, if you are not sure whether the person can vote or not, see, there is no 1 2 3 4. There are this is a true fact, this is a true fact, this is a true fact. There is no 4, or there is no 4 in any option which is subscribing to 1 2 3. So you should check the answer C. And this is byproducts of sugar industry. Chakka, or this is what I see. Bagasse, that is what I remember. I am not an expert in agriculture to know everything which happens with that wastage of sugarcane. So what I understood was bagasse can be used as a biomass fuel. True, it can be. Molasses can be used as a feedstock. This is also true. Molasses can be, this is true. Ethanol 10%, we have attained biofuel policy this time. Biofuel policy is there, so they want 20% blending with the petrol. So look at that. But in this there is a twist. It can be used as feedstock, but can it be done for synthetic chemical fertilizer? See, this is organic. Bagasse is what is sugarcane is organic. How can it be done for synthetic? So this is the trick. And again, I'm actually I'm unable to use the word trick because of the word the how it has been done. If you look at it, this chemical fertilizer is wrong. So 2 is wrong. So this is wrong. 1 and 3 is the answer. C is the answer. And this is what you should look at these things. This statement, if you see, these 4 lines are important. I could have gone with this feedstock because this is what on the day happened. I went with the feedstock and I went with 1 2 3 option, but then I read it again. And then saw the synthetic fertilizer. Chemical synthetic fertilizer. See, what is the connection between these two? So this is the answer. And these are all questions, very simple questions, which we should definitely take. This is the point. So this day and night, or the day and night variation in length of day and night from season to season happen because of this tilt which is there. This is 23.5 tilt which happened for earth, and that is how you get this difference in daytime. So this is a very simple answer which everyone should have taken, and these are questions which I took. That is the point. See, the purpose of this examination is not to know the 100 questions. If I do not know some question, that is not a very bad thing. I will go for questions which I know. And Narmada river which flows from, this is a river which so everyone should know this. It is a river which flows in this direction. So why is the answer? It occupies a linear rift valley. Okay, maybe. It flows between Vindhyas and Satpura. I am not sure. Even if your geography option, because both these mountains are somewhere here. So whether it is flowing in between, you please check it. On the day, it is not possible. But one thing I knew, that is what I said. This examination is about understanding. This examination is not about, I keep repeating this fact, that this examination is not about facts and things, because understanding forms the most important part of this examination. In this, what I mean by understanding is that instead of knowing these details, I know the fact that, see, it actually goes this way. The plateau is this way. It is not, or the land slopes from west. It is not sloping towards the west. It is actually sloping towards the east. It is not sloping towards the west. So this is what I know. So this is wrong. This is wrong, I know. So it occupies a rift valley. That is true. A is the answer. In India, certain rivers flow through rift valleys, and Narmada was one. This I know. So A is the answer. And in the planet Earth, ice caps and freshwater. So which was the next largest? So first is ice caps. The second is groundwater. This is given in, so how did I know this? Means this is given in 7th standard NCERT book. You can check geography, 7th standard NCERT book, water chapter. This is given there. So when I solved this question, I solved it through that only. And this, so for example, look at this question in geography. As I initially explained, geography, there are some things which I wanted to look at, and there are other things also. In India specific, northeastern region is very, very important. You should know that. And whether this Namdapa, so Namdapa is somewhere here. And in the northeast, I know for see, this is what I learned. There is a Dafla. So the Dafla, Miri, Mishmi. So there will be one Miri, Mishmi, and Barail will come somewhere here. Loktak is somewhere here. Loktak is very important. There is a floating lake is there. Sangai deer is there. This is endangered. You should look at it. But I know that fact that this is not true. So I removed this. Actually, Loktak I know. And obviously 3 also removes, and I will confirm by the fact that Dafla is somewhere here, Namdapa is somewhere here. And whether Nokrek was there or not, I was not sure on that day. Okay, A and D, I was conflicted between A and D, but A is the answer. So I went with A. Nokrek somewhere in Garo. So think, that is the point. We have to look at all these geographical sites, revise these geographical sites. Inside the hall, there may be a tough thing deciding between these options, but what I say is that ultimately you will get the answer. A is the answer for this. And the next question, we will go to the next question. So in this question, so look at this: dynamic changes on the surface of the earth, electromagnetic radiation, all these are true. So all these are true. Without any problem, you should know. And there is rotation and revolution. what is the difference between, you look at what is the difference between rotation. So rotation is this, revolution is going around the sun. So these two things you should know. And then which does not find mention in the constitution. There are certain questions like this. There was also one question on office of prophet where the mention was not done in the constitution, but they gave it as mentioned, so it is not true. So they are asking which is not mentioned. None of them are mentioned in the constitution. Now this planning commission and national development commission or the council is no more relevant because of Niti Aayog. But Niti Aayog came in 2014, but this is a question paper from 2013. So that is why this is there. And zonal council is because of a law, not in the constitution. So this is D is the answer. So the next is Tebaga movement and history. Most often history we will always have a faint understanding only. We may not understand the complete thing. So what I would suggest is that whenever you are looking at something, look at the way of these answers in a way that you at least look at the options and decide. If you are not sure, because in history most of the time we may not be sure of a particular incident, what I would suggest is that go for a particular option and then you read and you can get it. So in this is the most relevant thing which I have read in Spectrum book. On the day I read that, and hence I went for this option. So A is the answer. Next. So Parliament can make any law for the whole or any part of the part of India for implementing treaties. So there are articles which come around after 248, 249, 251, 252. I think 252 deals with this, because there are certain incidents where usually there is a division in article 246, concurrent list, state list, union list, but there are exceptions given in these articles where, for example, sometimes when the Rajya Sabha accepts, or this legislature accepts, or when there is national emergency, and also when there is international treaty to be implemented, and it is not necessary for getting any consent. This is one of the very logical questions. With the consent of the all state, no. Consent of the majority state, no. The consent of the state consent, no. These are for these things. Article 248, 49, I think 52, 51, 52 is treaty, I think 52 or 53. Please do check it. So answer is D. So this is how you should get correct answers from these things. And in the grassland, trees do not replace grasses as the ecological succession. Logic. This is logic. We may think that they are not getting into trees because of limited sunlight and paucity of nutrients. But if you see grassland, savanna area, or the central India, have ample amount of sunlight. So this is not true. But there is water limits and forest fire. See, that is why you should read all the options. In civil services examination, take it from me, when you are reading a question paper, do not go for only the answer which you feel is relevant. All other options you have to check it. Only after that you have to decide that this is the answer. So C is the answer. And this is what is the correct sequence of decreasing productivity. And decreasing productivity in these kinds of questions, whether oceans or mangroves. See, if I have to, because these two only are given, I don't have to worry about the other things. I have to worry about oceans or mangroves. Something of this is the highest productivity. Productivity means production by area. That is, in a particular area, how much is produced. That is what is productivity. Production is different. Production is total. Productivity is about this place where you are having a denominator. And in the case of this denominator, ocean is high. So I will go for mangroves. So B or C is the answer. In B or C, again, if you see, oceans are a vast area. Oceans obviously are a vast area and should be somewhere last. So that is, oceans may produce a large number of things, but they are in terms of productivity low. So C is the answer. And contour bunding, this I was not sure on that day. And if you see, these are the most simplest and the basic thing: contour bunding, soil erosion prevention. I know that, but I was very much confused between what to. This was not there, this was not there, but I was thinking between this and this. I was really conflicted because contour bunding, see, they have given us a method of soil conservation, but where and how, I was very much conflicted. But D is the answer. But I was thinking about A or D on the day. Very tough thing to decide on the day. And this was a PESA Act, which is not identified as the objective. So not identify means, and it is for self-governance, traditional rights. This is not true. They are not to create, or it is for giving autonomy to the tribal regions accepted. But what was the objective is all the other things. This was not one of the objective. It was not creating autonomous regions. No, autonomous institutions for protection of rights. PESA will give you an autonomous institution for protection of right. That is what is the answer. So C is the answer. We will see these questions or solutions for these questions in a sequential manner in a series of videos. The purpose of making these videos is that to make you understand that this examination is clear, or it can be cleared using previous year question paper, and those are the most important areas in which you should concentrate in these last 90 days. And that is why the sequence of videos is going to be regularly posted, and one question paper solution I will post it, and you can check it, and you can also check in, or you can put in your doubts in this Minds of Aspirant group, which is also there. The link is also in the description. All the other solution links also I'll post it in the description. Please look at this, and thank you for watching. All the best.